Hello, Dark Sniper here. I thought we would try something a little different. Let's do some work in the 2D editor. So to begin, we need to make ourselves an environment. Let's how about 384. Oh no, let's do 768. What am I doing here? 768. 768 build. And we'll go ahead and subtract that. Now let's open up our texture browser. I think we'll use UT99. There we go. Give ourselves a floor. A wall. Oops. Always deselect before you choose another texture. Something for the ceiling. There we go. But we're going to make a crypt. So it's all interior. All right. I'm really liking a lot of the new features in the updates that they've been making. If we select our textures and then right click and go to surface properties, there's a lot of alignment options that weren't available back in the day. So we go to auto, it aligns everything for us. We can select our texture pan tool if we want to maybe position it a little differently, but I think it works for me. So same with our floor, that tile may be a little big. Align it to floor and we'll half it. There we go. We'll align that to floor also. And maybe we'll make it 2. Yeah. Good. All right. Now, let's open up our browser again. UT Crypt. We're going to go to Arch and we're going to choose this shape. And you notice it's 256 by 256. We can use this in the 2D editor, but I have found that some of the new high resolution textures that are greater dimensions to this, when I try to import it into the 2D editor, it crashes. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So now we're going to go to the 2D shape editor. And I'm going to import an image, open get from current texture. And there we have it. And so we see that this is 256 by 256. So in our level, that's going to occupy this space right here. So I think that'll work. Here we have our vertices that we can edit. And you'll notice when we select, it highlights the connection between this one and that one. Same here. And so when we want to add, we need to make sure we have the correct 2 highlighted. And this is the 2. So we're going to come up here to add, split the segments. And then I can select it, just drag it. We'll split it again. Now this isn't going to be perfect. We're not trying for perfect. We're just wanting to get something out there. Whoops, that's the origin. We don't want to bother it too much. And you can get as complex as you want with this, but it may not necessarily be a good thing. I think we'll leave it like that. So now what do we do with it? Well, we come up here to our options for export. We don't want to create a sheet. We don't want to revolve it. We want to extrude it. So, and I think that's a good depth. We hit OK. And here it is. Well, we're going to have to do some rotating. So I'm in the side view. I'm holding down my control and my right mouse button. And there we go. And now we just add it. Well, that looks like a mess, doesn't it? Well, that's where the new alignment tools come in handy. So if we hit the B button, we'll hide our builder brush. And now we can select our faces. Right click, surface properties, auto. Would you look at that? So I'm left clicking to pan left and right clicking, holding down control to go up and down. I think that works rather well. I want to click on this surface, right click, and make texture current. Apply. Apply. And then left click, right click, make texture current. Apply. All right, so now that we have that, here's a step we don't want to forget. We want to hold down our shift button and left click on this brush and then right click on it and say polygons merge. Once we do that, we rebuild and look at that. It's all one face now that we can manipulate however we want. All right, so we have that. It's not perfect, but it'll do. I mean, we could come in here, and we certainly should come in here and, try to line these up to give it a better presentation. It's all about, your name's out there when you make a level, so you want it to be as nice as you can have it be. I think that's fine for now for our purposes. So let's go back to the 2D editor. And we want to make a new one, save the changes. No. So we're back to just the four corners. Let's drag these in. And then we'll split them again. Let's extrude it again. We hit our brush, so we have to hit our B key. Let's line it. And now let's subtract it. Right click, make current. Hide that silly brush. Look at that. Isn't that pretty cool? Let's select these and rotate them by 90. And then remember, we'll hold down Shift, left click, and polygons merge, rebuild. There we go. Now we are kind of misaligned here, so if we select this and this, hit auto. Oh, I must have made it just a hair different, so you want to watch out for that. You want it to try to be the same as you did before. But you get it. So now let's add a light. It's kind of a crypt. Let's give it a little crypty feel. I'm going to go with a darker blue here, maybe 30, and we will change the radius to something like 115. Rebuild. And you'll notice that that's pretty dark, but I like the blue. So let's add another light. Maybe there's some ambient light of the moon or something. We could always put a little window right there so the moon cracks, so the moonlight could come in. We'll choose a gray for that. We'll make it 40. And we'll have its radius maybe 166. Let's rebuild. Oh yeah, no, that looks pretty good. Let's put a player start in here so we can see what it looks like. Test it out. Hey, look at that. That's sufficiently creepy. And we have our nice arch. One more thing before I go. Notice these really black areas, these dark areas. And I've seen maps where people just keep adding lights and trying to make it go away. Let's come up here to info in our actor browser, zone info, right click, add a zone info, come up to zone light, and let's just make it 3. Now we can make it match one of our lights. So let's say we wanted to match this one. So we have a brightness of 30, but we're not going to use the brightness. We will use the hue and saturation, 170 and 64. 170 and 64. Now we rebuild and we test it again. And still a little dark, but you can keep adding it a little bit more, but don't go too crazy with it because it will desaturate all your colors. But I hope that helps. and I hope you have a good one.